Well, good Sunday morning and happy Father's Day, June 15th. Out here we have my indeterminate tomatoes. I just have a very secluded area of the garden, and I just thought I would try indeterminate tomatoes over here for the first time. Um, we just basically came up with a very simple pole system, and I've put different varieties of indeterminate tomatoes because I've never tried any of these tomatoes and I want to see what they're like. So I have Blue Beach, San Marzanos, I think I have Goldfinger. I have some other trellising Roma tomatoes. I know I have a mortgage lifter out here, and I can't remember all. I've made my own little irrigation system to run to each of these so I don't have to spend so much time hand watering. There's about, 11 bags out here, and I chose to put them in bags this way because we have a lot of moles and voles. I don't know if they come to the side of the property, but I'm not trying to find out. So I thought I would grow them in grow bags this year just to see how they even like this part of the of our property, and also too to see which varieties I like and which varieties are grew best, and then I would repeat those varieties for next year. But I did have a little snarky little visitor came and bit down one of my blue beach plants down to a nub. So how rude! But there is one little leaf still growing. I'm going to see if it'll come back. It probably won't. But I do have some extra tomato plants that I didn't pot out that I was actually going to compost, but I might just stick one in this bag so that this space doesn't go to waste. So over here, this was the very first raised bed that I bought. This is a Vigo, and I have it in the 3.5 by 6.5 configuration. And I did opt to get the cover, and this has been through a fall, a winter, and now spring with absolutely no problems. I don't have any pests coming in here, although bugs do crawl in, but I think that's because I have a small gap because of my watering system. And I couldn't recommend this enough. It was easy to put together. Hubby is not angry at me for giving him a ton of things to do. And in here, I planted my garlic in the fall. It's October 15th, I think I planted my garlic. And I see that I now have garlic scapes, and they're curling, and I am so excited. I was gonna wait till a few more curled before I started removing them. Um, Everyone says on YouTube and on Google that when you see garlic scapes to remove them once they've started curling, and then that will make your bulb even bigger. So I'm hoping that that holds true. And I've got elephant garlic, music, and chestnut garlic growing. So I can't wait to see how they did. Now, where this broccoli plant is right here was originally an elephant garlic, but it rotted over the season. So I just gave up on that, went on ahead and planted. I had an extra broccoli plant that I needed to stick somewhere anyway, so I went ahead and took advantage of that. I've got a few cabbages growing there. These are the smaller variety. I cannot remember what they are called. I think it's Wakefield, but whatever. It is a like a personal sized cabbage that grows in the cone shape, and it looks to be heading up. I can see that it's definitely forming the cone there on the tops. I've got two giant Marconi peppers in the back there, and I did insert some stakes yesterday so that they have some support to grow up. They've already got peppers on them, and I have this so packed out, it's probably hard to even see all the things I have in here. I've got celery growing there. I was able to use that yesterday. I made some potato salad and threw some celery in there. We still got broccoli rabe doing well. And I eat it with the yellow flowers and all. Gonna have to come out here and harvest again. And in the back corner there is my carrots. They've been very slow to grow. I've got a second round of turnips growing. Those have also been very slow to grow. And I've got radishes growing back there and even beets. But I think that once the garlic comes out, all of this will get a little more sunlight because it seems to be a bit shady. So this is my front flower pot. And yesterday I had to replace this canna lily. So last year what we did was we dug up our canna lilies out of our pots, put them in bags and put them in the garage, because we've done that the previous year and it worked out great. We did not have to spend money on canna lilies. We pulled them out of the garage, potted them up, and they came back just great. That did not happen this year. So the canna lily that I had planted in there, it never did take off. And so I pulled that out and I had to go purchase a canna lily and placed it there. And these are the coleus that I grew, my dichondra silver false I grew from seed, and my wave petunias. I think this is pudding in red, but the red is like fuchsia from what is that? Seeds and Such. I highly recommend these petunia seeds. So the romaine lettuce, it's time to remove that. The romaine lettuces did great this year. I had more than I could eat, and that was even after sharing it with friends and family. But you can tell that it's time for it to come out because you can see how thick the stalks are and how tall the stalks are. So this is probably 2 feet or at least 18 inches, this stalk, and that's not good for romaine. So I'm going to just cut these off at soil level. I'll have some other things that can get planted in these empty pockets. I don't know if I'll get to that today, but at least I need to pull these out, and it'll give the other plants that are in here some more room for now and a little more access to the sun. So look at that. That basket is full, completely full and overflowing of romaine lettuce. So I think we'll be sharing out romaine lettuce once again. So the French tarragon that I planted, you can see it tucked away in there, is hanging on. And it has been really, really hot in this particular area. I had to water this green stalk twice in a row. I filled up the reservoir all the way to the top and it emptied, but no water ever came out of the bottom. But there was no water left at the top. So if water isn't coming out of the bottom, that means that it was that dry or that thirsty, and it absorbed up all of the water. So I had to fill up the water reservoir twice in a row yesterday in order to see water coming out of the bottom. So once water comes out of the bottom, that's how you know you've put in enough water. And like I said, I had to do it twice. So it was that thirsty. And everything on this green stalk was limp. And I thought that my plants had died, but they were just, really, really dry and really, really thirsty because of the heat. So my collard greens are still doing good. I do have some yellowing, so it's time to hit them with some fertilizer again. And oh my God, is this another? I have another romaine. Well, as you can see, that is the romaine, and it's another really tall stalk. So that is also going to need to come out, but Maybe tomorrow. I don't feel like that today. And we're just going to leave that one like that so that the other side of the green stalk can get the sun that's coming in from that direction. It's good to spin your green stalks either every day or every couple days, just so that they all get even sunlight all the way around. And then over to the next green stalk. I am so proud of my onions on this. Look at this. Look at that. I'm not sure which type of onions these are. I feel like these are Elsa Craig's. And I just stuck a label that just said yellow onion because I was tired of making labels. This is the biggest one that I have in the green stalk right now, and the neck is broken, so it is ready for me to harvest. But I'm just going to leave that for another day. Since it's Father's Day, it's kind of a busy day today. And then I do have my melons in. I do need to put one more plant support here on this level, but my onions are kind of using it right now to support their really long leaves. So you can see how long my onion leaves are. But these will be coming out soon, and then I can move this plant support down to this tier. This tier is the one that had the cantaloupe, the mini cantaloupe. So remember, it was the cantaloupe, then the Tigger melon, and then the sugar baby watermelon. Now, the cantaloupe, the Minnesota midget, has flowered. I did try hand pollinating. I can't tell if that took, but I did have this green stalk covered with my netting, how I like to do. But because these flowers are so tiny, I would find that very difficult to hand pollinate. So I decided to take the cover off, and hopefully Mother Nature will help me to pollinate the melons. I think my sugar baby has a flower down there too, but they're coming along nicely. And we still have the radicchio. Now I was looking at my calendar, and it says that the radicchio won't really be ready to harvest until like August. That is an awful long time to wait. And I am not the most patient person. But now that I'm touching these, they feel kind of squishy. They are squishy. I wonder, are these rotting? This one doesn't feel like that. But these other two, they're squishy, and even like the leaves, if you look inside. That does not look good. As you can see, that looks like that's got some rot on it. And so does this one. And it feels squishy. I think I may pull these. Can you see that? I think I may pull these, at least this one, because this one looks like it's close enough to looking like a radicchio, and I'm kind of impatient. I still have 2 more melon plants that I want to put in here, and I've been waiting for the radicchio to come out. So I think that is what I'm going to do. Well, I will show that on the next video, and I hope everyone enjoys their Father's Day.